All right, you guys have not heard from me in a while. It's been a busy almost 2 years now. I'm probably, I bet most of you think the game is abandoned. Uh, it's weird. I wrote a whole post about it. It was probably for a year and a half. It was probably all I did full time until the series of events, and then that led me into this becoming more of a hobby and less of a business. But there's still quite a lot to show. So if you want to check out what's going on with me, go ahead and read that blog post. And then if you want to see what's going on in the game, just keep watching this video. I'm going to jump right over. The first thing to talk about is a new interface. I've got these slide out cards that they stack. They can control if one's on the screen, the other is not on the screen. It's a separate framework, so you can call it with code. There's no like build up to it as far as like setting up the scene. It's just a simple code script to call. That led to you can see the new camp interface based off the same card system here. Each card can have experience bars, plus double plus minus bars, double confirmation bars, different types of headers, on and on. All of the icons animate in. The icons are placeholder right now, but it gives you the idea. So I applied this kind of UI to the whole game, and at a minimum, since everything's one API now, if I ever change the look, I change it in one spot, and it'll fix everything throughout. The next thing I did, which you're kind of seeing here, is I put this new card interface in the test system, so I can build up, fight this unit versus this unit just to see for balance and whatnot, and changing levels, on and on. So that was an archer against a bad melee. And then you look at the bottom now, look at the action bar. Like there's a new range icon. There's new animated active status. Each icon has animate in, animate out. All of it, again, is an API that if I change it once, it works everywhere. So that was the unit abilities. But if you look at Stu's abilities on the left, I have this concept of he's got 4 magic stances, and there will be a delay. The delay is not there yet, switching between the stances. So you can be on aggressive, but it might be a 5-second delay until you can switch to protective. So if you need to heal, you kind of have to expect that you're going to need to heal, anticipate it, instead of just quickly switching to heal. So it's not just a reaction game. Here I want you to watch a fight play out. This shows a lot of what's happened. Units now have a death direction and a death type, so you'll watch some units, if they die by fire, they'll burn. Spells that Stu cast, you can see the fire coming down, can be resisted. You can see when the catapult hits, people splatter, using actually the same function that the catapult ball uses to scatter them isometrically to make it look like 3D. There you go. There's a good hit. Flee works now. I changed the flee graphic to make their whole heraldry turn to that flee icon when they're fleeing. If you watch at the end here, a couple guys die by fire, then the archers hit the last guy in his direction. He'll fly in the right direction. So the corpses stay around, the corpses rotate, there's blood splatters, there's a bunch of little details like that, and it just looks a lot better. Other details are in scenes. I've got scripting now. You can see not just environmental stuff, like the flames and glows and that sort of stuff, but also if you see like these NPC knights coming out of the gate, they're switching to a 2-column layout and then back into a 4-column layout. So they know that the gate's not wide enough, so they're going to adjust their formation. The gate will close, and there'll be a little bit of dust. Meanwhile, this is all NPCs, so we'll talk about it more later, but there is AI in the game now. The other part of scripting, sticking on that, is you can see the fight's about to get restaged here. So every segment of a fight is now a state engine, and it checks for a whole series of game events to be true before switching to the next. And once it is true, you can do things like fade out, fade back in, reposition units, things to like bring the story to the fight and sequences to the fight. One thing that is a problem on the first 3 levels, which are much smaller levels, and this city level that you see right here is a smaller level, is the anticipation's not enough. You see I'm shooting the people coming with the catapult right now. They get there too quick. You don't get the buildup of the enemy army coming, and it gets chaotic real fast. It's not about like maneuvering your troops. It just becomes chaos. So the larger levels fix that, but I may have to rework the first 3 to make them a bit larger to get a feel for that. I'm going to switch to a larger level right now. So this is level 4. It's 4 times the size of the past level you saw. So if you look at the unit coming in, he's not even in range of the catapult yet. So it gives you an indication how much bigger it is. Once he is in range, you get quite a long shot with the shadow approaching, the drama of is it going to hit and build up. And you get to think more about what to do with your troops while all that's happening. Back to the world map and story, you can see the card UI here. You can now replay cutscenes for any level. I'll let you watch one.
How did they get past us?
It seems the attack was but a small diversion. All the while, the real threat marched from the south.
They knew we were waiting, but how?
Perhaps a traitor?
Now that's all, placeholder voice, and there's still a lot to do, but it gives you an idea. You can also skip cutscenes now, because I know some people hate story. So they're all skippable now, and that's what this one is showing you real quick.
Pinning us back as they continue to grow their ranks. Do we know why they're attacking? No, sir.
All right. The other thing I did, which took surprisingly a long amount of time, is I made a wiki of the entire game. So everything is done on paper right now. There's every unit, what they're going to do, what they're going to say. So the script, the look, the abilities, the spells, it's all out on paper now. And that's helpful because whenever I take a break, as it looks like I'm going to start doing, I can come back in and jump in and not have to load my brain up with what I was doing. Other than that, other stuff to mention is, I briefly touched on it before, but AI units now say, can I win? Is the enemy engaged? Are they likely to kill me? Are they high threat? Are they high threat to one of my friends? There's about 10 checks, but the system can add as many as I need to. And each check is on its own timer for how often to run. And then every, I think 2 seconds it is right now, the unit will make a new decision on what to do. And that goes for friendly NPCs. They'll try not to kill you. It's adding a lot of power to the game. Other than that, I mean, that sounds like not too much, but every system has been touched. Everything is now, I think I have 12 frameworks. So like saving a game and abilities is a whole separate API. Like UI is an API, as I mentioned. Obviously the formations and squad movements is an AI, but there's quite a bit of refactoring that's gone on to make this scalable. I feel like the code is just getting so close to being, done. But another example is scripting of spells. Each spell can be scripted. It has key events that you can write custom scripts off of. You can also inherit generic events. There's quite a lot of power. One example that is one of my favorites right now is a spell called Phoenix that whoever you're attacking, if you have dead units in your squad, you'll deal that much damage, the amount of dead units you have to the squad you're attacking. So the more dead units you have, the more damage you'll do. So it's just a timing spell that's not very useful once you start combat. But as the tide starts to turn, it can swing things in your favor. And then level 3 Phoenix not only does damage, but it also revives some of your dead units. So it allows for complex groupings of spells, that sort of thing. So that's a good overview, a good feel of where things are at. I'm not sure when the next update will be, but I'll make a video when it happens. All right, see you later.